Hello everyone and welcome to That Mom Vlog. Today I'm talking about midwives. Are you excited to hear about that? You know, I've spoken about mine before. I absolutely loved her. She was amazing. And I have a friend who is with child. They are expecting and I'm just so excited. And I really just wanted to just talk about it, about how important it is and what it meant to me. And I have some information here from the American College of Nurse Midwives. Just it talks about some of the things that it's proven, and of course they're pro midwives, so if you want to hear some maybe crazier negative things, you can go look at another source, but I know it's worked for me. I've experienced it, I've seen it, so here goes nothing. So what does a midwife believe? They believe in individual focus of reproductive needs. So what does this mom need? Not everybody needs to have the same exact thing. They also believe that pregnancy and birth are normal. What services do they provide, and where would you and when would you see them? They provide gynecological exams, family planning, prenatal, labor and delivery support, newborn care. They also offer education with fertility, nutrition, exercise, contraception, it says, pregnancy, health, breastfeeding, and quality infant care. So these will also be some of the times you would see them. You could see a midwife just to have your yearly lady exam done. You can get pap smears from them, all different type of care from a midwife. Where would you see them? So with me, I saw mine in her midwifery center. With my second son, I had him at my second child. I had him at home, and she came to my house. Like, we had house. I don't know if anybody's seen called The Midwife, but it's like a PBS show. I love it. But they have house calls. They always delivered at home then in that space and time, and so it was like the same thing. They just kind of came to the house and looked and see, like, you know, the living conditions, if it was safe to have a child, just making sure you had running water and things like that. You never know. So I first child and my third child were both in the midwifery center. My second child was home. It was a little too juicy for the house. That's why I took the talons back to the midwifery center. Also, you could go to, also labor and delivery team at hospital. So you can have a midwife and be in the hospital. I think sometimes, when I hear people say they have midwives, often they're telling me that they're seeing a midwife, but they're still under the care of a doctor. When I worked with my midwife, Karen, I love you. You were so awesome and amazing. She's like an auntie to me. When I had her, I saw no doctor. She was in control of all the care. She would educate me about different things. She ordered labs. She did my exams. She was there to catch the babies. So there was no doctor involved for me. But often I hear that I'm seeing a midwife, and now I have a doctor. So I'm not really sure how it works out that way. But even if there was a chance where I was going to go into the hospital, I was like, are you going to be there? And she said yes. And it was kind of going to be like in a supportive role, but she still will be present. So I'm like, I know I can trust you. I know you've been through this. And even with a fear that I had with having a midwife, you know, not being in the hospital, oh my gosh, that's like so not American. You know, American way is you having a baby? What hospital are you delivering at? Oh, I'm not. Especially working in a hospital, they're looking at me crazy like, oh, you in the right place? No, I'm not, baby. No, I'm not, but thank you. I forgot what I was saying. A little body roll. But yes, but she would be there, and look out for a sister. So what are some of the benefits? And again, this is from American College of Nurse Midwives. They promote natural birth. The payment options, insurance, they take Medicaid oftentimes. My midwife, she took our insurance, whatever it was at the time, and we paid on it. So it still was, it was cheaper than the local public hospital. I think for like one of my friends said that her bill was like $10,000 and ours was like 5,000, and she charged the same amount each time. She offered was available to that lower income group, which I thought was amazing for them to have this awesome opportunity. And some people might think, oh, it's cheap, and but no, it's affordable and just so necessary. Your body is able to make a child. Your body's also able to deliver that child. So if you are not low risk, I recommend it. If you have, I mean, if you are low risk, if you have a low risk pregnancy, there's no complications, there's no issues with the baby, then I say go for it. People are all around the world having babies, and some don't have access to the right care. Now, if you're high risk, please go and have a doctor and go to the hospital to have your baby, so you have all the support and machines and equipment that you need. Praise God for the hospitals and the services that they offer. But if you don't need it, then stay away. Also, a lower risk of cesarean. I know a lot of my friends or people that I'm connected with went in, saying I'm going to push this baby out, and came out with a cesarean because the doctor said, or, if there was a rush, or so that's another really big reason. I felt really comfortable with my midwife. She had 900 births before my babies. So she knew what was going on. I trusted her. A decreased rate of labor induction and augmentation. I know towards the end, when I was like 9 centimeters, she threw some kind of holistic tablet in my mouth. I was like, listen, honey, get this baby out. But it wasn't drugs that go in your system. Anytime that you get something in your system, the baby is like a filter. So the baby like filters through everything first. So they get the same medication that you're getting. So the drowsy, they get that too. So I was like, if I can avoid it, then I will. There's a decreased rate of anesthesia. So we just talked about that. Decreased infant mortality rates. Decreased risk of preterm birth. Decreased third and fourth degree perineal tears. I don't know how deep mine was, but honey, I ripped each time, honey. They say the more you stretch, I ain't want to stretch. So rips and stitches I got. Also a decreased cost for client. I don't know what that says. I'm going to skip that one. Increased chance to having a positive start to breastfeeding. Oh my God. I shared this before, but I remember when I had Victoria, they plopped her on my belly, and I was like, oh my, I was just so amazed. I just did this amazing thing. God did this amazing thing through me. My husband and I did this amazing thing. And she crawled up, maybe not like this, like a little blind mole. And she found my breast and she started to suckle. And I was like, okay, where's the milk? Like, I'm expecting for it to spray day one. She's like, no, this is going to trigger it, and your body's going to know, you just had delivered the baby. So your body knows it's time, it's showtime. So she started, and I did have a positive experience. And I have another friend who didn't have a positive experience. It was more of a, well, we want to get the baby's blood sugar up because the blood sugar's low, and they're a nurse. So she said, well, get the baby's blood sugar up. And then a bottle was given. And then it wasn't a positive experience for her. And again, you can have positive and negative experiences anywhere. But I am disagreeing with breastfeeding. I had a positive start each time. Also an increased satisfaction with quality of care. I remember sitting in the office and knowing that her time was valuable. She had other customers or other women who were having children or having a postnatal care. And I would think, like, don't you have to go? But she would say, okay, how are you feeling? First it was about the baby. How's the baby? And then how are you feeling? And she would look me in my eyes. She would put her things down. Like, she was really concerned. And I was like, are we best friends? Because I really like what you're putting down. Like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I just really feel like she cared. She gave me that attention. There was also a moment with our first child, and I shared the picture, that it was all about me. Being a hospital nurse, I know how it is not to have any time. You want to give this time and this compassion and care and love to your patients, but you're not able to give it in the magnitude that you want. I remember my first birth, there were probably 5 people in the room. Maybe 4 of them were her employees, maybe 1 a student. I had a doula, but they were all there for me. If there was another birth, then I would get half of those people. But it's still, I mean, even when I'm just laboring, like breathing, they were there ready for me. So I'll never forget that. Even being a nurse and being, you know, a woman and educated medically, when you're pregnant and when you're going through it, it could be terrifying. So to have the person that you trust and somebody who's been through it and an advocate for you, it was awesome. Some negatives were, and when you would want to avoid having a midwife, it says a high-risk pregnancy. So with a high-risk pregnancy, I'm sure you're still able to have a midwife or maybe even a doula at your side, but they're not going to want you to have the baby at home or in a midwifery center because they don't have the equipment, the supplies to support you and your baby and, you know, being healthy. So I love you guys. God loves you more. Remember that you are that mom, that sister, that friend, that ride or die, that boo, that father, that friend, that fill in the blank. I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. I know it's been a long time, but I'm back. We're back. My diet's been going well. I've been cutting back with carbs and sugars. I've had some occasionally, but people said I've been getting fine. Honey, I don't know if you see this collarbone, but I've been drinking my water. Chick-fil-A also has free sandwiches on Wednesday, depending where you are. I'm in Central Florida, and there's 2 places. But I'm getting fine, honey. And I hope you're getting fine and feeling fine. I love you guys. Have a good one.